All right, everybody, this is going to be another one of our quarterfinal matches here in the CHOC Charity Tournament hosted by Cross Giant Studios. This is going to be in the Blue Celestial. There he is. Hiya. Already floating away towards the other side of this broken crown. His opponent in the Red Infernal, playing different factions today in many of his matchups, is Yoru. Both of these players, look, this was a creation chamber first. I was doing introductions, but I kind of wanted to comment. Creation chamber, bam, right away. And then, okay, another creation chamber here. But Yoru is not like, he's not on 3 shrines or anything wacky like that. He went conclave into vault, into farm. He doesn't even got a shrine down. So, yeah, we've got, Yoru is not going to be surprised by this. He sees 2 Argents come up. His Hex is like, wait a second. Brutes and Gaunts. Okay, Brutes and Gaunts out on the map, chasing them back. There's a Morph Core, 2 Morph Cores here. They're about to plop. Where are they going to plop? That's exactly what Haya's thinking. Like, where do I want to put these buildings down? There goes Creation Chamber. What's this? Shrouds or Form? Shroud Stone. I love this defense from Yoru. Trying to get on top of those Argents and keeping them back. Brute's here, doing his business. He's the tank. He's the chunky boy. And these Argents have to retreat back to the low ground, which is not where they want to be. They want to be up on the high ground. Every time they have to go back to the low ground to navigate back around there, that's wasted time. They could be DPSing, and that's wasted time that more reinforcements are going to come out. These Shroud Stones are almost done. So the Creation Chamber on the high ground is going to go down, and it's not even been turned into the Prime Chamber yet because it's just going to be fodder, basically. Any Argents that pop out there are just going to be easily picked off. And now trying to get some defense on the high ground. Haya's pushing up, but there's a meat farm there too, and it's going to start popping Fell Hogs. And we see that those Argents are all on, for the most part, low power. He's doing his best to retreat back. We have the Creation Chamber down, and now the Gaunts are going for those power banks at the low ground. They're slowly going to be picked off, and unfortunately, some of the Gaunts are attacking the Arc Ship, and that's the purpose of the Arc Ship, which is to take some of the DPS of any units that can target it, basically, which in this case is the Gaunts. And we see again the Gaunts, they're just prioritizing the Arc Ship instead. And while getting DPS down on those buildings is good, it's the power banks you really want to take out, not the Arc Ship. And every time he attack moves towards the Argents, his Argents get distracted. It would almost be better to defend a little bit higher up where the Arc Ship wasn't playing that role. Now we see the Gaunts, as they move a little further up, they're able to start targeting on those Argents. But now the Argent count is getting a little bit dangerous. And we see some more of these Static D getting taken out. Another Shroud Stone goes down. There are 2 more summoning. Another one's about to be finished, and we're going to see it now target. Oh, actually, it could reach the Argents there. But it's focusing on the Arc Ship. The Arc Ship's at half life. Even though it regens life, it is going down. It might pop at some point, and that could spell the end of this push, and maybe this game. But for now, Haya has the advantage. He's got more Argents here. And this Argent push is kind of dangerous. More Gaunts and Brutes trying to show up, but for now it's been the control of Haya that's kept so many of these Argents alive, and very slowly he's picking off the Static D. One of these Shroud Stones is focusing on the power bank, and we might see that power bank go down. Remember, power banks have less hit points now, and they also generate more power, which means that if one gets taken out, there's a sort of a bigger cost to the Celestial player. But again, this Argent Ball has been preserved for so long now, and it's just getting bigger and bigger as the Gaunt numbers are going down. Another Shroud Zone goes down. It's looking like this might be a hard hold for Yoru. Although he has more reinforcements coming down here, he still hasn't been able to take out either of those power banks. And now the Argents focus fire with some good pullback micro to take out another Shroud Stone. Just a single one left. And I think this is just a slow death by 1,000 paper cuts here, as these Argents are just going to keep picking at this defense. And it's not clear what Yoru needs. I think staying on the tier 1 in this defense is probably what got him. I think when I see these Argent push broken, it's usually with a Hellborn. I don't know if that's still a build that's viable at the current state of the game. But I think just these Gaunts are now, we see the final of the Shroudstone down, and the Gaunts are now being pushed back to their ramp. Effigy taken out. Somehow this Hexen stayed alive the whole time, so that's really good control from Yoru. But that's GG from Yoru in the first game. Alright, here we are in game number 2. Spawning in the blue Infernal is Yoru. Not changing factions this time. Staying with the Infernal for this match. And his opponent also staying with the red Celestials is Haya. Not on full tilt across the map, surged Arcship. So we're maybe not going to see immediate Argent Rush. Maybe it's 2-base Argent Rush. I don't know. I don't know. Because I'm the caster, not the player. We see we see immediate units again, because Yoru has to respect the possibility on this map of there being another rush. And so his Hexen does make it over here, sees that the Archship's at home, sees that there was another base going down, knowing that that means that there's not probably going to be an immediate push. Also, not seeing any creation chambers at all. Probably a good guess that this might be macro. Now, what that means is his units are out. His Hexen just teleporting home. And there we see our first creation chamber going down for Haya. And I was just curious, what's Yoru's plan? Like, do you take those first units, knowing that your opponent does not have a creation chamber out yet, and go try and put pressure, or do you go creeping? And it looks like Yoru's chosen to go for the creep direction and take his health camp out first. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but that's the second Arcship, and I love this. This is my favorite thing to comment on if a Celestial player. Now, since the changes, you don't use them for prism production anymore. You've already got all the prism production you need, so this is different. This is about getting either the benefits from the Arcship in the sense of the healing ability that it provides for your units, making sort of like an aggressive forward Arcship that you can take with your push, or maybe it's for more Morph Core production. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure. So there, who knows there. Maybe Haya knows. Now, Yoru has gone, I think this is also a good strategy. You can bring your units over here to take this out if you know your Celestial opponent is not deep in their own production yet. And that usually means if you haven't seen that creation chamber at the beginning, then they're maybe going for that 3-base opening. I don't know if 3-base is still popular. We see Haya here going 2-base into creation chambers instead of 3. And now some Fiends getting a little bit of a surround here, but Sarvan's Watch is doing a pretty good job of cleaning them up. Remember, Fiends pretty squishy, so that giant laser beam from heaven can kind of melt them quickly. And we see all their little bloody guts over here. And that Arcship hanging out at the front there was doing a nice job of casting some healing spells down onto those Argents. Creeping, well, Argents are poking at you. That's kind of brave, but Yoru has a lot of units here and is able to chase the Argents away. One of them forever remaining a white splatter on the ground there. Maybe they should make the Infernals have a different colored blood too. Although red is kind of fits the Infernals. Slime's taking out Energy Camp, and Yoru's kind of trying to take as much of the map on Haya's side as he can. And Haya comes in to take out of all the camps that he really wants. This, of course, means energy regen. Well, you got to stay in the camp. You got to keep it. So, unfortunately, he's gonna. Yeah, there we go. Sends one charge back. He's like, why do I have to do it? I'm not in control. Send me back to the Ark ship. Now, this is what I was sort of thinking that Haya might be doing. Like, even though he went for 2 or 3 bases and macroed up here, he's still thinking about getting some early pressure on. And actually, when we look at the supplies here, this is not looking good. He's up to 90 supply, while Yoru's at 50. Yoru's base is going down there. There's a Kree come, but this is army cannot fight this. The Kree are on top of the Gaunts here. Several Gaunts going down. One Brute being super brave, being like, I'll protect you all, but the Gaunts hiding in the woods now while reinforcements come in from the right. And it looks like Haya is going to have the better of this battle. He's pushing the reinforcements back. They're hoping that some more charges come up and more units can be pumped out, because this base is going to go down now. This base is actually upgraded to a greater shrine, which normally is great because that means you've got extra hit points on this base. It's harder to take out, and that is going to come into play right now. But the risk here is if it gets taken out, that's your greater shrine. We see a Brute popping down here. There we get another summon on the Manifest Shroud Stone, and this might be enough to at least scare High back and say, okay, I don't want to fight into that. All these weak Argents, all these low energy Argents. Let's give time for the Kree to come back. And Kree rolling in. Splitting into 2 groups. This is a harassment Kree. The idea here is force you to waste your micro on your imps. Also, force your army to engage. So that these units can push in here and start taking this base out. Kree up here, good imp splits. Units pumped out to deal with this. Kree over here, units also fighting. Imps turning to fight. And some units trying to come and put in some defense over on the third. So Yoru doing his best to split his defense up to try and deal with that multi-pronged attack. And it looks like for the moment, actually doing it. The question is, how much economic damage did he take as a result of that multi-pronged attack? Over here, we have fully saturated. Up here, we are at 9 and 7. That looks like he maybe lost 2 or 3. But honestly, pretty impressive a defense there from Yoru, given that he had the supply deficit. And look, he's in it again. There's a Purify down. But is he going to be able to put in a defense? Let's see. A Magmadon pops out. And if he gets some good trample here. Oh, he gets some of them. Some of those Argents going down. Focus fire from the Argents. And now Fiends popping out, trying to get on top of these units. Taking out a Kree. Weak Argents hiding in the bushes. But a few of them getting taken out. And having to pull back. Yet again, Haya going in with what looks like an army that could be sort of the finishing blow. And each time, clutch defenses coming out of Yoru here so far in this match. And what a bunch of back and forth so far. Yoru managing to get a little bit more defense set up here. He's oversaturated on this base. And part of that might be from trying to produce more imps after losing. Yeah, some of those imps need to be transferred, but so the harass, gets damage done in lots of different ways. And one of those ways might be the misalignment of your imps after a defense. Yet again, a pushback. Haya is in retreat. And I think this was more bait. He just wants to fight away from the Shroud Stones. He wants to use his advantage, which is his army supply. So he wants to force Yoru to fight into him out on the open map where he can get a concave, where he can have his reinforcements be a little bit quicker. But Yoru pushing him back, and he's actually in full retreat. And Nightfall Infestation on all the Cabals. Those are expensive casters, and they're going to go down. One goes down. Nice Argent Force that sort of stays in retreat to try and defend the Cabals. So they've sort of pulled forward again and re-engaged the units so the Cabals could get back. And now this force has pushed all the way back into Haya's base. Now Haya's base has got a nice sub Sim City here, and I don't think I really would want to attack into that, especially with the Sovereign's Watch going down. And so many reinforcements here for Haya. You need to pull back here, Yoru. He's trying to, but unfortunately these units are a little bit speedier. Effigy is immediately taken out after being cast, and Haya actually pulls into retreat as well. That gives Yoru just a little bit leeway to run his units back. Looks like he is going to try and go for this camp. Third base, let's call it fourth base, because that would be how numbers work. And he's also got another macro shrine going down here. And okay, Twilight Spiral with Shadow Clef, so he's going to do a transition here into Spriggans, and honestly this might be the way to go, because so far he's largely stayed on that tier 1 tech with some Magmadons to help out. And oh, here we go, a Weaver also being added now. And okay, now Kree coming up, trying to actually just doing a run by. So these look like they're intended to be harass Kree. They're all on move command, and they're just going through the gauntlet. They're like basically on move command through the tower defense right now, and so many of them dead before they even arrive at their destination. So good news for Yoru, but the one thing that the Kree did see was 2 Twilight Spires coming online. So if Haya did not suspect yet, he probably does now that there are some Spriggies on the way. Couple of units here caught out. Now what's oh, Prism's rallied. I'm like, what's going on up there? And Archangel's out now too. Oh, huge! I like there's like a cool lightning effect there. I think that's new as well on the Meteor Strike. Anyways, he destroyed a bunch of units. We got a Gravity Flux on one of the Magmadons. It pops back down. But there are just a lot of units here. The Cabals melt that Magmadon, and Yoru has to pull back. The supply lead now for Haya is just getting too hard to overcome, even with good control and compositions. Magmadon tries to push in here, uses the stun, but very good use of Gravity Flux to nullify that trample, mid-trample, and the Magmadon gets taken out. So Yoru is in retreat now. He's going to try and do a little engage there so that those rollouts don't get all on top of him, but has to pull back. He turns to engage again as some Gaunts show up, and a lot of the Kree are taken out as a result, but those Kree are upgraded and they move on to the Gaunts, trying to do some damage there. Another Archangel shows up. No, oh, Archangel takes out the Magmadon. Punches him in the sky. Never seen that one before. Punching a Magmadon in the sky. Kinda cool. Kinda cool. Yoru got a nice defensive matrix set up now. So while he's been engaging, he's been putting down some defensive structures. We haven't really seen the Spriggans yet, have we? Or maybe, like, have they been out harassing or something? I've missed it, which is kind of something I do. I like to watch the minimap, but sometimes I miss some of the cool action going down. Was that it? That's a debilitate on the Weaver there. Weavers are slow, now they're extra slow. Huge Nightfall Infestation catches a lot of units there. Did that... Oh, mind-controlled Weaver! Hiya with the mind-controlled Weaver! Never seen that before. Hi, shout out to you for doing one of the coolest things I think in this game. It's like, I'll take one of those. And just want to shout out to everybody there, let you know that your Cabals probably have enough energy to fire that debilitate off before the mind control, and that's what he did there. Now he's lashing in his own Archangel. Wow. That was cool. Now, Yoru's force is unfortunately peeling away, but I'm just fascinated by Haya's play here. Archangels and Weavers, that's a new composition I've not seen before. And that's GG from Yoru.